Ready, hunt!
Going back through reviewing last week's game against Baylor, it's very much like I said after the game that Baylor, credit them for really making making the plays that made the difference at the end. I thought early on in the game, defensively early on in the first half for the most part we're playing pretty well, and then offensively we were moving the ball well, and just as I thought after the game, drives were foiled by two different times with turnovers where we starting to approach the positive 30-yard line and approaching the red zone. Another time we have a chop block that pulls us out of scoring position, end up having to punt. Another time we have a drop pass. So there are too many times where we're down opportunities to score, and all of them were with the wind where that you come away with 0 points. So we weren't very effective as a team working together. And then when the offense got it going in the second half, the defense broke down and gave up big plays, and so in the end they made the big plays to make the difference. We didn't at all play as well as we need to defensively. I think that's obvious to everybody. I thought kicking game-wise, we played really well throughout in all phases, and get in a situation where, again, they made the plays that made the difference, and they've got some excellent skilled play people that made them, and so that's the game. Gives us still an opportunity here leading into this week at home against Iowa State, a team that's very hot when you look at the way they've been playing the last 3 games since they made the change at quarterback with Jared Barnett. They're 3-0. Just coming off beating an excellent Oklahoma State team that had been undefeated, everyone realizes, and playing really well. A very disciplined, hard-playing football team that plays well together. So it'll be a big challenge for us to pick up and make some improvement this week, and give ourselves a chance to still compete for the Big 12 championship. That possibility is still there. We need to win this week to have that chance, and that's what we're focusing on right now.
Can you fix this defense?
Well, yeah, it's we've played. What have we played? 10 games. So you've seen some good, and in 2 games you've seen some bad. So we've played really well, a lot more than we haven't. So.
By playing in the secondary, is it the most difficult thing to do in today's game of football?
No, I don't think it's that. It's challenging, sure. The more and more people spread you out, and the way, the more and more you see talented and good receivers. I mean, I'm not minimizing that. In today's world, everybody at all levels throw the ball better, but we still, need to be able to cover better than we did.
Any personnel changes?
We'll see. But I'm not much on broadcasting any of that.
Bob, people talk a lot about, you've had 3 years now in 01, 07, and then this year where you fought your way back into a national championship and fell short. How do you look at that in terms of your overall program, having been in that position so many times?
Well, it's tough to do. I think it's fair to say when you look at, the programs that have been doing it, and to do it over a long period of time isn't the easiest thing to do. But, for the most part, we've had a pretty good measure of success and consistent success, I guess, of continually hovering around and being in the discussion, being in the hunt for it, and, for a good number of years. And when I do hear from different coaches at times, that's what they always remark to me about, is the fact that, where they appreciate is the fact that we're always somewhere around it and having a chance. It's not easy, pretty obvious, but we'll continue to do our best to try and stay in that hunt and keep chasing them.
Is there,
as well as Big 12 championships? Those aren't easy to come by either. Everyone knows it, and we've had a fair amount of them, but we still have that in front of us, which is pretty darn special.
is there still a natural process for you as a coach, though, where you say, let's look at this, why don't we get over the hump?
Well, we've Over the hump how? What do you mean?
You know, like I said, you had the 3 years where you just fell short, and fans
Well-
fans obviously say, that have their opinion on, whether you're doing the right things in the program to get over that hump.
Yeah, well, in the end, who else is there that much? Who else has that many opportunities? I don't think anybody. So what are they doing to not be there more than they've been? It's not easy. There's 110 whatever teams, and I think everybody's well aware what's talked about all the time is parity. There's more and more players that go around to every school. Everybody has players anymore. So it's no different than anyone else that, over the last probably 11, 12 years, we've been in it more than anybody. So, again, it's just not easy to do.
What's Tony Jefferson's situation? Is he still playing post position? Is he 100%?
He's 100% and still doing what he's been doing.
So he can play both positions still?
Yes.
Is he a candidate for deep safety with the struggles that Javon had?
Oh, but then you also have to have someone covering doing what he's doing down there.
Joe Ibeloy did that the 1 week Texas A&M.
He has done it before.
That's a
They're
possibility.
all candidates, yeah.
Are the offenses in this league that good, or the defense is that bad?
There's no way of, to say that. It's probably a little bit of each in that, they are really good and maybe, defenses need to pick up a little bit more of what they're doing.
Trey Franks, you've used him at kickoff return all year. He seems to be picking it up and being a little more assured of himself. Would you agree? Is he doing
Well,
those things better?
Trey's doing great with it, and I think the guys in front of him have gotten, quite a bit better at creating some seams for him too. So I think both of it's improved. He's sore, but again, everything checked out fine.
Bob, there seemed to be confusion on some of the balls where you beat deep the other night. Is it a case of guys getting confused on the call?
No, a time or so, but no, the ones where we gave up some plays, I think we were set and were just beat. Now, a time or two we got caught late lining up because of their tempo, and there was an occasion or two where, the communication, the guys getting the right call or at making an adjustment after motion wasn't as fast as it needed to be. I think the only one I recall where, they ended up covering, but there was a little bit late, was the one that ricocheted off their helmet and bounced right to them, ricocheted right to them. That one, they were late getting lined up, but they ended up covering guys.
Have you ever, in either this year or in the past, reached a point where you say, what we're doing is too complicated for the guys, we got to pull back?
We
Or-
constantly do that, of assess every week, how much we give them, the process and what's the easiest adjustment every week. And to be quite honest, though, it's easy to say, oh, you just play this. Well, they don't allow you to do that, in the way they shift, motion, whatever they're doing. Offenses, as simple as you may want to keep it, they don't let you keep it that simple.
Did you say you were only late getting set up the one time?
Oh, a couple of times. I mean, with the tempo.
I was just wondering, because you yourselves run tempo.
Yeah, no, there was a couple of occasions at least where we were, in one occasion, they subbed a guy, they ran the deep ball, ran off, the guy after the play ran off the field, and we needed to substitute when he substituted. That's what we were doing, because, for instance, they throw it 50 yards downfield, our DBs have to come back. He left the field. The receiver left the field, and they got a fresh one already on the line, and they're ready to snap the ball, and they're allowed to if we don't substitute. And I was mad that our defensive line, they didn't see him they didn't see him on their sideline leave the field, and we should have substituted to make them hold up. And that was one occasion where, and they threw it out on their bench, and we weren't set yet.
Well, in terms of them, besides that play, them catching you a little flat-footed, since you run up-tempo offense, it seems like the defense would be used to that and wouldn't have
Yeah,
that
they are.
problem.
We didn't get set and lined up and play it well enough.
The pendulum swung too much for the offense in this game?
Oh, I don't think so.
whatever rules are set, you like the rules the way they are, whether it's timing, anything.
Oh, I haven't, yeah, for the most part.
What did you think of Brody Eldridge's tweet, and have you talked to Brody Eldridge, the first tweet he
I
said
have
about?
not, I haven't seen the tweet. I don't read anybody's tweets, so I don't have any
Well, he said that
comment
there was,
on it.
at the ESPN thing, there was sort of an arrogance here.
Well, that's Brody's opinion. I don't believe that's correct. I don't think, we're any different than any other team we've had. And if it is, it isn't because ESPN was here for 3-4 days, 3 months ago.
On this, a lot of the questions are, what do you do? There's so much offense in the game. Is there going to be some scheme that figures out spread offenses, and then offenses will come back and go conservative again just to move the ball? I mean, is that even conceivable? Or is the spread, pushing the limits of what an offense can do?
It is, but I think at times, at times people spread out and defend it really well. We have before. So it just depends on the personnel matchup, the particular day, quarterback, the receivers, quality of defense. Heck, every year is different. We played them a year ago, and it didn't look like that this year, right? So in the end, every year is different. And so sometimes you defend it well, other times you don't. And same with this year, it's been that way.
Isn't it about personnel? LSU's a great defensive team, because they got great defensive players.
Listen, it always matters, sure. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and put it all on the play. It's all our fault. But in the end, there's no denying personnel matters in everything. Absolutely it does. There's no denying that.
With Ronell out this week, some of your other guys have played well, the RJs and Kings, and they now play a few more snaps. Talk about the next 2 games without Ronell.
Yeah, it's hard to replace, again, one of your better players, but, David's played a lot of football, RJ's played, and those guys have to come in and play well, and they'll play hard, and they ought to be prepared for it.